This podcast is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The content shared is not a substitute for professional medical, mental health, legal, or financial advice. Please consult a qualified professional for personalized guidance or treatment. By listening, you acknowledge that the hosts and guests are not responsible for any decisions or actions you take based on this content.
Feel like a grouch, go beyond the couch. Share your confessions on the Aurora Sessions.
Hello, Aurora Healing Crew. Welcome to the Aurora Sessions Beyond the Couch, where we take the stressors that come up in session and bring them into conversation beyond the couch. This is the space where real talk meets real life. Hi, everyone. This is Theresa here, the founder of Aurora Sun Counseling, a group private practice providing psychotherapy for clients in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Jackie Ramos is here with us today. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, so grateful to be here.
I'm so you had a busy week, and we'll get into that. But thank you so much for coming here and taking time.
Thank you for having me.
So Jackie Ramos is a 16-year-old high school sophomore who somehow balances it all: academics, performance, and showing up fully as herself. She's part of her school's Health and Science Academy, active in drama and Key Club. I was also in the Key Club, president and secretary, and has earned a spot on the superintendent's list every year. A lifelong performer, Jackie's been dancing since she was 3 and has taken the stage in community productions like Chicago, Teen Edition as Velma Kelly, and Hadestown, Teen Edition as Fate. She's also a former title holder with the Miss New Jersey volunteer pageant, earning Miss New Jersey Teen Volunteer 2025, and was the first runner-up at the American National Teenager Scholarship Organization for Miss New Jersey Junior National Teenager. Drawing from her experience balancing achievement, performance, and mental health, Jackie brings an honest voice to what adolescents really look like today. All right. So I always like to start with how I know you and how we got here. So we've lived in the same town since forever. Were you born here, or did you move from like Cherry Hill area?
I think I moved from Cherry Hill, Mount Laurel area when I was about 2 over to East Greenwich.
Yeah.
And I've been here ever since.
Okay. So that's when I kind of met your mom.
Mm-hmm.
So because she, of course, has to be involved in everything. So she was in the Facebook group, in the neighborhood's Facebook group. And, like I told her, there wasn't a lot of like Asian people. So I was like, oh, Ramos. Of course, I didn't learn how to say her name until like a month ago. But Maria Ramos. So then we're just Facebook friends, really. And then once in a while, we'll see each other out in the wild and stuff until home and school, which we shared. And then, but I always knew you through her. And I loved the fact that she was a couple years older than my child, my daughter, so that kind of like helped me guide the way, which you would probably be like, don't listen to my mom for anything. I'm kidding. So that's how I know you. And then, so I interviewed Maria for one of the podcasts, the Tiger Mom one, and you listened to it. And from what she told me, she says, I need to have my rebuttal. I need to be there. Is that kind of your take on it?
Yeah, I feel like being a tiger mom is something that she's always identified herself with, and I've just kind of like let her take on that part of her identity, and I've just been like kind of here to witness it, and I guess like kind of makes her a tiger mom in a sense. So I've just been like more experiencing it than rather like being identified with it, I feel.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was interested in, because you're my first teenager. So, um, and something that we talk about, I guess, like me as a tiger, and I don't really, I say tiger mom is just like the Asian philosophy, that like, but really I'm more of a hybrid, I feel. um, but really balancing wanting the best, how to say it to our children. And from your perspective, like as a kid, I call you a tiger cub. I say like our kids are the tiger cubs. Um, so that's why I wanted you here and to talk about. And really, as a teenager in today's world, is so difficult. And I don't think teenagers have that kind of voice as much. So that's why I wanted you here. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So, so beyond the titles, beyond your achievement, what do you want the listeners to know about who you are?
I feel like the best way to describe who I am is that I am definitely a performer. I love being on stage. It's what wakes me up in the morning and what kind of gets me going. Just the feeling of performing for others and having the stage lights on me is just something that can never be replaced by anything else, and something that I want to carry through the rest of my life. But I think it's important to add that that's not the only thing that identifies me as a person. I also am very passionate about healthcare and would love to go into that field when I'm older. I would love to major in nursing when I'm in college and become a nurse. I really, really feel like it's important to have something that makes you other than just being a performer. Like you need to have a life outside of that in order to be a good performer, because having something to focus on other than being a theater kid actually makes you a better one in turn, as confusing as that can be. I really make sure to focus on both of those aspects of myself and not just like focus on one, like this is who I am and this is who I am. I just really like to make sure that I can merge both personalities, and that's who I am.
That's a lot, because I think it'll probably be like a lifelong journey too, as you also kind of, we all grow in different areas. But I think that that's so great that as a young, like, person, you're able to know we can't just identify it as one thing, because if that thing not fail, I hate that word, that's a terrible word. But like if, like as a performer, if there's an injury, then you can't perform anymore, then who am I? So you're so many other things too.
Yeah. I had to grapple with that a few years back. I was about 12 years old, and back then all I thought, like as a young kid, was like dance is everything, because I grew up a competition dancer. I've been dancing since I was 3, and it's just kind of been my lifeline for the past 16 years of my life. It's my entire life has just kind of revolved around dance, and it's sort of like something that I'm coping with myself, like to make my identity outside of that and figure out who I am, like once that stops. Because like there's, of course, I'm 16, I'm gonna graduate sooner rather than later, and I just have to think about that sort of thing, where there's gonna be a day I'm not going to the dance studio every day, and I'm just an actual person, like living my life, not just paying my dues at the studio. So I've had to really think about like who I am outside of that, and I think that really started when I got injured back when I was 12.
I remember that.
Because I at that time, like dance was everything to me, and it was just like my entire life and like kind of what made me me. And I feel like that point when I was so young made me realize that I needed a life outside of performing and dance and being a dancer.
So you were 12. I thought you were older than that. I guess you always present older to me. So.
I get that a lot. Yeah, it's the maturity of an only child. That's what my parents call it, because I'm just around so many other adults.
Yes,
just
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. When I was researching the benefits of having only one child, because I was impatient about having baby number 2. There were so many benefits of being an only child. So, I mean, sticking to the only child thing, how do you like being an only child? Do you sometimes wish? I mean, I'm sure there's always sometimes you wish you had a sibling, but overall, like, how do you feel about being an only child?
I don't really feel like I get to complain about being an only child because every time I talk to someone with siblings, it's like you are so lucky to be an only child that you don't have someone else that your parents pay attention to. And yeah, I feel like that's really valid. That's a really valid perspective since I've had a lot of attention on me since I was a kid, and it's just like what I've known for the entirety of my life. But I also like find it in the sense like in the pandemic, that was hard. Because I had two parents who worked at home for like more than half the day.
Yes.
And other than that, and other than schoolwork and everything, I was like by myself like the entirety of lockdown. So in that sense, not that I don't love my parents, and not that they didn't keep me company, but it would have been nice to have like a friend, someone like to interact with, I guess, another kid to just have with me in that experience. So being an only child is great, and you get to have a lot of attention on you, but it's always great to have like a built-in best friend.
Yes.
And luckily I have like some of those people who I consider family and like siblings. Like I have people who I like call my family, even though they're not really related to me, because I am a firm believer in like families are the people you choose. Like I have my sister, I call her my very best friend, Kate. She's a freshman in college now, and I've known her since what? I don't even know. I think since she was in 6th grade and I was in like 4th. That might not even be accurate. But no, she's helped me through so much of my mental health stuff, and just being there for me as an older sister. She really is like everything I could ask for, since she's helped me so much, because she was a dancer too. She's also a nursing major right now, so we share like a lot of similarities and similar experiences, and just having her there has helped me so much in life, and I'm very grateful for her. So she really is my older sister.
That is great. And I think you are allowed to also have grievances with being an only child, because that attention, although great, I know a lot of people who say, I wish they can just obsess about somebody else and like think about not just pay attention to my grades and everything that I'm doing and all that stuff. So it can be overwhelming a lot of times.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, it's all I've ever known. So
yeah, right. Yes. And just like having a sibling or so many siblings, they're like, I wish I was an only child. It's like curly hair, long hair. Straight hair. You want what you don't have. So, but that's great that you also have awareness of the benefits of being an only child.
yeah.
So, as far as like, what is your definition, and not describing your mom, but in general, when you hear the word tiger mom, what's your definition of that?
When I think of tiger mom, it's more, I don't want to say like helicopter parent. My mom's gonna listen to this and she's gonna be like, "What?" But whatever.
No. This is a safe place, like it's. And you send her to me, and I will talk to her.
No. But defining a tiger mom, I feel like it's, you guys are the moms that are not overly protective of your child, but you're aware that you need to give them their own space, but also you're like very concerned about them, about their safety, and about like the world that they're seeing and the way their brains are like forming. So it's not necessarily like overprotective or overbearing. It's more just like there's a clear concern and a clear like sense of caring that's there.
That's very kind of you to describe it that way. Oh, yeah. So you're so funny. So I would describe it as sometimes our most highest concern is success for our children. So at So we're just so worried that the child is not going to succeed and be able to be independent, um, and make money and survive and all those things. And old school Tiger Mom, I feel like they really, at any cost, whether it's blaming, shaming, criticizing, would push that kid to make sure that they succeed and put pressure on them. And old school Tiger Moms are um, like you can't really give a lot of praises, then they're gonna think a lot about themselves. You
Yeah.
have to like make them feel like almost they're crap. They're
It's
crap.
humbling.
Yeah,
It's humbling.
right.
No.
So that they do more, they do better. But as people go through therapy, and we know that that's not really healthy for the child, how do you handle, and we're not saying Maria does this at all, because I don't really know how she moms. Actually, I really have no idea. I just know how she is as a friend. But so how do you handle that concern from parents?
It's something that I'm still actively working on, like today, like every single day. It's something that like I have to communicate and advocate for myself about that. But yeah, communication is like a big part of that. We've been practicing like talking about what I want and what success looks like for me versus what really makes me happy and like what like satisfies me, because there's a clear difference in my eyes. And it's really important for me personally to have that autonomy to choose my own success, because I know as tiger moms, like you guys want success for your kids, and you want your kids to be able to make a living for themselves, like money, like have a good life. And I understand that, but it's just being able to say what you want for your life in a successful life, what you want your success to be, rather than their idea of success. That's like a differing in opinion. And it's just an idea that you both have, and you just kind of have to communicate with your mom just to kind of say like how you want your life to be, rather than like what they want your life to be. It's like it's a lot of communication, and you have to understand that it all comes from like a place of like they care about you and they want the best for you. That's why I describe it in a way that they are not necessarily overbearing. They are just have like they're very caring, and like they want the best for you. You have to keep that in mind, because I get it. When I was a kid in competition dance, I still am a kid in competition dance, but I always thought my mom was so overpressuring, and she always stressed me out, and it was just I just thought it was always so much. And it wasn't until like I started listening to other people until and I would like talk to other people, and they'd actually tell me like, she's very proud of you, because it was something I would forget, honestly.
Yeah.
She's gonna listen to this, and she's gonna be like, "Oh no,
No. Don't. Her feelings are not your responsibility." So yeah. So I think it's as a parent, the concern is okay. One, parents always think they know better. We always think our way is the right way because we live longer and blah blah blah. But for a teenager, I think what you're saying is like to trust that you also want to be successful. You also want to be able to buy things and live on your own, and that is a priority in you, like for you. So to kind of like trust a little bit that you know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's just understanding each other's perspectives is a big part of that.
That is key for all relationships.
Yeah.
It's understanding the other person's point of view for sure. So, did you ever feel like love and performance were connected? So let me like expand that a little bit. when you perform, I guess, how do you express your feelings when you are in the high pressure, and do you still are there times where you don't love it because you do love it and that's why you work so hard? So there's how do you balance pressure and your love for performance?
You mean like on stage?
Yes, yes, and when you compete and your grueling schedule, all of it.
I will say it's really, really easy to become burnt out very quickly. And there were a lot of times where I was just doing it for the score and not really for the love of performing. That was a really tricky relationship that I had to handle in competition dance, because there are so many people that surround you that just like try to divert you from the path of like making it about your love for dancing and performing and singing and all that. There are so many people that are going to try to like get you off your game and make you think that performing isn't just about loving the art of it. But I pull a lot of inspiration from Alyssa Liu.
Love her. She's my new favorite.
She really is, and she really inspired me with a new like mojo to go into this next competition season and just performing, moving on, is that performing is all about loving the art and loving what you do, not doing it for a medal or a score or like a placement. It's really about how you feel at the end of the day and doing it because you love being on stage, or for her, you love being on the ice, because the minute that you're there because you feel like you need to prove something, it just takes away from the whole experience. So that's something I've really had to learn, to love being on stage and love performing, not loving getting a score.
Yeah. One of the things about Alyssa Liu, which I think if she could like bottle it up and hand out, she would be the richest person in the world.
She would. Like her secret potion, I want it.
Right. Because how, right? How do you go into the Olympics?
Yeah, especially on that high of a scale. Like the Olympics is no joke.
No, no.
But everything about her, like how she handled her performance and like the fun she had on the ice.
Yeah.
Just like from her appearance to like her self-expression, it was just like so relaxed, and she clearly loved every minute of it.
Yes.
And it's just something that every competitor wants.
Yes. To let it go, leave it all on the ice or on the stage or on the field, because you put in the preparation, and whatever happens, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but I was thinking though, if she, let's say, fell so many times and was like in 16th place, would she really be okay with that too? Like, there's got to be some, I wonder if, I mean, I'm sure at the end she would be fine, but like the reality of it is that I think in the moment she was okay with whatever happened, but afterwards I do think people can still be disappointed and stuff, and have a process. And I think it's like what she's talking about is probably like right before, you can't worry about it. Like just leave it out.
Yeah. I feel like it's natural to be disappointed. It's natural to feel whatever you're feeling after, I don't know, maybe not getting first, or not the outcome that you wanted is not the outcome you got. So it's perfectly natural to feel whatever you're feeling after that happens. That's part of the process. But just because loving your art didn't get you to the top doesn't mean you can't continue to love your art, because that's just, again, that's got to be the defining factor that you lead with. That's going to be your heart that's going to be your heart of everything you perform, because at the end of the day, no one's going to remember, like, at least on as small of a scale as I compete in, no one's going to remember if you got first or if you got platinum, perfection, diamond, whatever there is. Like no one's going to remember that. At the end of the day. But what people always remember is how much fun you had on stage and how much fun you brought to your performance and the energy
The audience
that you could
feeling
see. Yeah.
it.
That
Yes.
people remember how you make them feel, not what you won.
So here's a question. As a daughter, to a parent, me, not your parent, but a parent, when you are disappointed in a performance, what is something helpful? I know it's different for everybody, but I guess for you, what is something that a parent can do to support you? Because you do want to express yourself, and sometimes parents don't know, like, do you want us to comfort you? Do you want space? What do you want? What's the best suggestion you have for us?
I think reminding your kid that there will always be another performance. Like there will always be something else. There will always be another chance for you to shine and show your art and show people what you are capable of. Um, but always remember that your performance does not define who you are. Nothing like how well you turn or how much energy you gave or how much you point your feet, whatever. Like none of that will ever define how worthy you are of love. You are always deserving of praise and affection, no matter how you perform, and you always will be. So whether you fall on your butt or whether you win first place, like it won't matter. Like we'll still love you anyway, and there will always be another chance.
I love that. We will love you anyway. And I think to add to that is like you said, it doesn't matter what you got first or last. Winning's always fun. I always say in sports, winning is always fun, but it's the process, it's the time you
Yeah.
spend with your friends.
Because I think that's the part that we all should really be proud of, like the process of the hard work that we put into it and the friends that we made along the way. I feel like that's just the journey is the destination. That sort of vibe.
Oh my gosh, what a good quote. The journey is the destination. I love that. And as someone who is so impatient and want things right away and results right away, I forget that to focus on the moment, right? Being mindful that the journey is the process. Okay, so mental health. How do you define mental health?
I sort of define mental health as who you are when like the camera's cut is how I put it, like who you are off stage and like how you're doing, like when you're all alone it's just you and your thoughts, like when it's nothing but you and your mind, like what are you thinking, how are you, like are you okay, in that sense it's what's happening behind closed doors.
And so, and as far as mental health for you, how do you think it's different now than when you were, like, let's say 12 and you had your injury?
I think I've done a lot of improvement over the past years. I think I've gotten a lot better with telling myself that my grades, my performance, like my scores, my places, like that's not what makes me a great person. What makes me a great person is like my kindness, or like was I nice to those people, or did I try my best. I feel like back then it was more of like, did I get the best score, or did I get a good grade, or like that was like what kind of was left at the end of the day. It was like what I was thinking about, like even though everyone still told me that I was doing great, that's like what I thought was making me great. But now it's just it's sort of a mental shift, thinking about how who I am, the kind of person that I am towards others, the kindness that I display, and like the work that I put out. That's sort of like
So internal versus external
Yeah.
validation is what we call it. So you used to get your validation from outside, which is, you know, very common, even as a, especially as a performer when they win like Oscars or whatever.
Had to. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I told Amber to take a picture, and I wanted a candid, but there was okay, let's do it then. Should we? Okay. So let's see. So as far as what is your biggest mental health hurdle? Is it like what feeling do you think it's the hurdle for you?
It's a hard one. I gotta think about that a little bit.
So like anger, sadness. Just think of the cartoon. What's that cartoon?
Inside Out.
Thank you. Inside Out. All those feelings.
Fear, I think, is a pretty big hurdle for me.
Yeah.
I think the biggest source of my fear is just like for the future and what's coming next, because it's always something that like I'm thinking about and I've always had to wrestle with. Like I always ask myself, what sort of future like do I want, and what sort of future would I be happiest in? So I feel like I just am always kind of scared, since I'm at like the point in my life where I'm like about to go to college and make like a lot of like big decisions, like kind of start like my adult life in a few years. And it's just like thinking about, okay, well, what decision, like what kind of life do I want to lead? And if I, in 30 years, if I made like all these decisions and I led this sort of life, like would I be as happy as I possibly could be? And it's just sort of that underlying fear is just kind of what like drives everything.
Yeah, the unknown. Fear of the unknown. And how do you cope? What's your go-to coping skill when you start spiraling into all the what ifs?
I think it's something that my dad taught me, is that what can I control right now? It's, I have no control over like whether I get into that college I want to, or if I get that role in the future. I have like no control over that, but like I can control, okay, well, I have a lot of homework right now and I have something to study for, so I can like control how prepared I am for that test, or like how much work I get done or how productive I am. Or I can also control, okay, well, I can practice right now or do something that'll make me happy. It's all about right now and kind of just like bringing yourself back to the present moment and how you, right at that moment, can be better, because you can't control the future, only right now.
That is amazing advice. And I call it, part of our mission statement is mental fitness. And that's a muscle to kind of be mindful and bring it back to right now. And the more you practice being mindful and grounding yourself and what you can control right now, the easier it will be when you spiral too. So, bring things to a lighter note. So, there's a lot of energy with the theater kids. We love a good theater kid hangout. It's so much fun. I remember the after parties at Pittman during the summer and stuff like that. It's always fun. What role do you feel like you were born to play?
So, my favorite musical is Boop the Musical. I was very, very fortunate. Me and a few of my friends, on closing night, we all rushed tickets. And if you don't know what a rush is, it's when you get to the box office in New York very, very early. I think we got there, I don't know, I think we took like the 5 a.m. train to Penn Station.
Gosh,
No.
yeah.
And we sat out in the line, and we essentially like waited until the box office opened to get tickets. And I think we got like such good tickets. We got like balcony seats, like right in the center.
Oh, wow.
Like perfect view of everything. Like it was, I think we were like a few rows back from the front row of the balcony.
Yeah.
And we just like No, they were the best seats ever, and it was the best show I've ever seen, truly. Just the experience of the entire thing, just the costumes, the music, the dance, the actors, just everything about that show I loved so much. But most of all, Betty, Miss Jasmine Amy Rogers, who played the role on Broadway, she's so inspiring to me. I've seen her do so many things. I saw her in Spelling Bee earlier. Also, in New York, I go to the Junior Theater Festival in Atlanta, and I got to see her live concert there, which, like,
awesome.
I'll never forget that. But the role of Betty Boop, which she originated, I feel like my entire life has, like, I'm meant to play that role. It's just,
wow.
she's so lively, and she's so energetic. She's a dancer. She has like a whole big tap number, and so that feels very me.
Yeah.
But her entire trope is that she's been this movie star and this performer her entire life, and she only knows who she is when the camera's rolling and when she is given a script or she's told what to say and what to do. And all she wants is to spend a day where she's not a star, where there aren't fans like following her around and there aren't any cameras rolling. She can just be herself and who she is and just kind of see the beauty in life and hear the music sort of, and just live life so colorfully. And her big number, Something to Shout About, towards the end of Act 2, is all about she wants to find love and she wants to like have that feeling of life and something that's not written down and just live freely. So that character is just, I would love to play Betty Boop. That's my entire personality. I say all the time.
That's so interesting. I only have heard of Boop when I saw pictures of you going. And the day before when your mom was like, am I a bad parent? Because I'm letting her go by herself.
That was like a lot. No, because me and my friends, we all took the train by ourselves and we all spent the day in New York by ourselves. But that was like truly like the best day ever.
Yeah.
Like I will always remember that day because that experience was just
so fun. Hearing you talk about it, it's so much more like every play. It's so much more than what you really thought it was going to be. So, good. So as far as like, we all have, biscuit ballerina moments on stage. So what would you say is your most humbling moment on stage? Have you had like a most embarrassing moment?
That's a really good question. I don't know if I've ever had like something that was like, oh, that was really embarrassing. If I did, it's not coming to mind right now.
That's good. Okay.
Like,
okay, and then knock on wood that you know,
because I'm more with the mentality like, whatever happens on stage, it's live theater, baby. Like that's like, you gotta roll with it, and that's what happens. And my mentality is sort of like, whatever happens, whatever mistake you make, be proud of it. Like,
and nobody will know.
Nobody will know. Make it into something funny. Like make it a bit or something like that. But you can't go on stage and like live with the regrets. Like whatever happens, it happens, and you just gotta make the best of it. And that's like part of what's so hard about being a stage performer. It's like, you can't just say cut live. And like start over. Yeah, it's like, it's live. Like, so whatever happens, like, hey, you just gotta keep going.
What have you ever forgotten your lines?
Yeah, when I was in Mean Girls Junior, I was Karen. It was my like first show ever.
Yeah.
I would let a lot of lines drop because I think it was just like the pressure of it all, and just like
that's a big role.
Yeah, I was so green too. Like that was my first ever musical with like a pretty big lead, I'm pretty sure. No, but I've kind of not just like ran into that problem anymore, I feel like. And even if I do, I feel like I always know the story enough to like
make something up
and like eventually get to where I need to be.
Yeah. You're talking like a seasoned performer for sure. When I saw you in Hadestown, like I was seriously wrecked for the next 3 weeks. I could not believe the story, well, your performance, everybody's performance was amazing, but I just cannot believe, I don't know if I'm spoiling. Does everybody know this end of the story? I can't believe
I
you
feel like a lot of
did
people know it.
Yeah,
It's a pretty old myth.
Right.
Yeah. Did you know anything about the show
I
at
knew
all?
nothing. And your dad was so like, he was so angry about the plot line, and I was like,
He's always angry about the
Yeah.
plot line. It's just that's just him. You can't like listen. That's his shtick. Like
right,
that's
okay.
always what he has.
No,
so.
but I was like, why is Ron so upset? And then I was so upset. I was like, I get you, Ron. Like, why did he have one job to do? One job.
And that's something that's talked about by so many people.
Yeah.
It's like, why would he turn around? He was so close. Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, for the sake of not just like him and Eurydice, but like all of those workers, like everyone. Like, it's the way the world could be, like, in spite of the way it is. And I think that's just kind of the beauty of the story.
Human.
It's human.
Right.
Yeah. It's like we have doubt and we make mistakes, but I feel like this whole concept of the story is moving past that as best we can, because there will always be times where like doubt will come in and we'll like let it get the best of us and we'll turn around in a sense,
and then it ruins everything.
Yeah, so that's no, it's just kind of like our starting point. Like, this is what the world could be as long as we try and we like keep telling the story.
Yeah,
I think that's what's so beautiful about the show. I loved that show so much.
Same.
Everyone I worked with on that show was truly so talented. Like my directors and like my choreographers, all
the
my
ensemble,
castmates.
Ensemble is like such a word that I think is like a bad word, but like they are super talented.
When
Like,
when you're younger, like you always think of it as like something, oh ew, ensemble, but no, it's like no, it's a big job, and it's like. When you get older, being ensemble is never a bad thing.
No.
It's like it's a privilege. It's
you're
so
lucky,
much fun. Yeah.
right? And you're on stage more than I always think about King George and Hamilton.
Yeah,
He's in lead, right?
Yeah,
Probably pretty. He's probably on stage for what, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes out of the whole show.
Yeah.
But okay. Do you have any pre-show rituals, and what are they?
So. I don't know if this can be considered like pre-show, because it's kind of like pre-show, like right before the show starts, like right before I'm about to go on. And so it's just a little neck crack and just like a little like just stretching, like all the knuckles crack, just a little like just like a quick little thing, because I feel like for me that's kind of what reminds me like, okay, let's do what I do best. Let's like give these people a show. Let's like just do what I've been doing for the rest of my life, because it sort of serves as a reminder for me that I've done this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Like, just trust my body, trust the work that I put in, because it won't fail me. Just have trust in myself and the people around me, and remember that like this is what I'm best at and this is what I do.
Okay. So, out of all the things that you do, because you're also on the Philly Fresh crew, which is...
I love my girls.
It's one of my favorite genres to see you in, because you're such a performer. So between Philly Fresh Girls, Fresh Crew, dancing, Broadway or theater, and a whole bunch of other things, do you have a favorite? Are you able to
ask me that? That's so unfair to like everyone I work with, and like that's
your favorite baby.
I know,
so your favorite child.
Yes, that's like I can't. No, I love doing like all of it, like the dance I do at Trisha Sloan, Philly Fresh, and of course theater. I love all three, but in different ways. I feel like Trisha Sloan is like where I started, and like where like all of this like grew. Oh, that's not doing that. All of this like grew, and like where I got my start truly, and it's like where I come from, and you will always like appreciate that in a sense. Philly Fresh is sort of like what taught me to be such a professional performer and how to handle things like as they come at you. Like when you're on the crew, you have like a million different performances a season, and it's always like not everyone can do every performance, and you learn 3 routines.
Oh, wow.
So every like not even like a few hours before, or like you have like less than a few hours just to reblock the entire dance and then like relearn all the choreography, like just sort of adapt to the group you have now and like make the dance look as best it can for whatever event you have and with however many people you have.
Right.
And so like learning those changes on the fly and learning to sort of like change and adapt like right before a performance, that's sort of like, it's such a great teaching opportunity, and it's just like taught me how to be so professional and like take things as they come, and it's how I learned to just like be fast thinking and on my feet and just be someone who like people want to work with.
Yes, and you have to learn the choreography fast, and reblocking is no joke.
No, it's not. No, and like and all of that like comes into play with theater, like because that's like the most like recent thing that's come to my life, because I've only been doing theater since I was 13, 12. So I haven't even been doing it for that long, but I love it so much. But
and you're so good at it.
Thank you. But all those experiences like just kind of taught me just how to be like a professional and be someone that people want to work with, and how like to be like as reliable as I can be.
Okay. So what do you wish people understand about high achieving kids behind the scenes? If you had a magic wand, what would you want people to know? All the tiger moms out there.
I think that on paper, we look like these people who have it all together and we have the perfect lives. And like, oh, I wish I could be like them and like all that jazz. But behind closed doors, we're truly like, we might be struggling too. Like we may look like we keep up with it and like we're doing great, but it can all be a facade sometimes. And inside we can just be hurting or like struggling or like really having a hard time keeping up with all of it. Like there's this one thing I really think about after my send-off party for Miss Teen Volunteer America. I remember because that's when we announced that like you guys are sponsoring the 2 girls who were going for counseling, and I'm very appreciative of that, and thank you. But I remember the day after, because I went to the gym, I was in the car with my mom, and I think you and her were talking, and like Amber was saying something, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you guys were doing that. Like, I didn't know you guys were sponsoring them."
Yes.
And
yes,
I remember my mom telling me that Amber said, "I think that Jackie won't really need it though, because like she seems like pretty put together." And I was like, "Well, it's nice to know that I'm a good actor."
Yes.
Well, it's nice to know that I can keep that up. That's nice. No.
Yes.
And I was like, maybe I'm a pretty good actor.
Well, that's true. It's, and it's funny because obviously, like, I wasn't gonna say anything, and because you brought it up, I'm like, I guess I could say something. But
no, you can't. That's fine. Like, no.
It's funny because that's how the world sees put together people.
Yeah.
The way,
not just high achieving kids,
no,
high achieving people, like everyone, even adults.
Everyone that like, oh, it must be nice. They have it all together. They, don't stress. How do I have my life together like them? And how do I do all the things that Jackie does? And but as a therapist, we know that beneath it all is all this anxiety, all this like pressure, all these thoughts mental fitness that you have to help control, help cope with.
Because once you unlock that like high achievement and like that's like what you're capable of and what other people know you're capable of, achieving below that is suddenly blown out of the question. Like it's out of proportion now. So it's really hard to remember that even though you are someone who can achieve high, that is not the thing that makes you worthy of all this praise and all this love and all this like attention that you get. Like it can't be what defines you, because you have to let yourself like be bad at some things, and you have to let yourself like not necessarily like do bad purposefully, but you gotta let yourself like not be so stressed out on whether or not they will achieve high.
It's funny because this whole week has been such a theme. It started on Monday when I was at Rowan for this panel, Breaking the Cycle, toxic relationships in families, education, work, school. And it's all about being uncomfortable in the uncomfortable. That a lot of times women, especially, were spinning all these plates.
Definitely,
And they
yeah.
said, like, one of the persons said, like, people said, we have to learn to drop a plate and be comfortable with it. And another person said it was like being on a buffet line, which I love talking about food and food analogies. But it's like being on a buffet line. You're putting stuff on the plate. You get to the end, there's this big piece of chocolate cake, but there's no room on your plate. What do? So you have to pick what you have to get off your plate to make room for that. You can't pile it on. So it's a theme throughout all your life. And I think that you learning it now and being aware of it now is such a great gift and skill to have. Before we end, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do, and I will pull up
my
the
gosh.
document for this. so
Shut
I'm
up.
hiding
You
my
did?
thing.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I almost skipped that question.
All right.
Oh my gosh. So funny.
What are some questions you wish more people felt comfortable about when talking about mental health?
I wish that they would ask more about how therapy is like. Like a lot of people don't know how therapy is, like in the rooms and stuff. So we're afraid of what we don't know.
Yeah.
And I think more people, if we let them know what therapy looks like and feels like, and that seriously, like it's so normal to go to therapy, like I would want them to know that.
So today's world, especially, is so scary and so violent, and there's so many things that like it just hurts too much to look at when you're thinking about it in the grand scheme of things. How do you justify taking care of yourself while there's this whole big bad world that you also need to be taken care of?
That's a big question. And
Yeah, it's a big one.
No, and a lot of my clients struggle with that because irrational guilt is something, like, especially when there's like protests and stuff and things that you want to support or be loud about.
Yeah.
And you feel guilty for not feeling like you're not doing enough. I think number one is one of Ariane, one of our therapists, her favorite quote is, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to take care of yourself. It's that oxygen on the airplane analogy. If you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before a child. Because if you put it on the child first and you faint, you have no idea who's going to put it on the child. But if the child faints while you put it on, you could do everything in your power to help that child. So no matter what, you have to take care of yourself first. And number two, you don't need to satisfy anyone else. Everyone's going to think how they want to think. If someone's going to judge you because you didn't repost something or you didn't shout out on your Facebook page for us unks, to support or go against something, it's okay. Let them think what they want to think. I'm not comfortable being that open with stuff. So, and if they are, great, but don't pressure me into doing something because I'm going to support it how I want to support it. So do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's really inspiring because it can be a lot, like especially like with everything that's happening today. It's like scarier than it has been ever, I feel like. So it's just really important to make sure you're good because like how it's affecting you is also really big.
And going back to what your dad said, what do you have control over? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like you have no control over all of that.
Okay. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jackie, for taking out
course.
a piece of your Sunday after a 5-day run of your show. I can't wait to see you on stage to perform again.
Well, it's glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So I was just remembering after when I was interviewing your mom for the podcast, we were getting ready to see your show on Chicago that day. That was, and it's like so funny, the full circle moment of now you're here and after your run of another show.
That's crazy. It's been that long?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, no. That was that was an experience in itself.
Oh my gosh. I think you knocked everyone's socks off.
It wasn't just like another show to me either. It was like a role that I've been dreaming about forever. It's been like, it was the biggest lead that I've ever had. But I also met so many people that have changed my life so entirely and like so much for the better. And it really just changed me and reminded me who I am as a person, why I love what I do.
That moment on stage with that whole show, I think you did have your little Alyssa Lou moment because you could tell you were doing it from the heart. So, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before we go, Aurora Healing Crew, take a deep breath like you're soaking in sunlight. Warm, steady, grounding. As you move through your day, check in with your gut. Notice how you feel around others. Your energy is precious. Protect it so you have the strength and light to do what really matters to you. Because life is hard, and we're getting through it together. Thank you for listening to the Aurora Sessions Beyond the Couch. Visit our website at aurorasuncounseling.com to learn more. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Just search Aurora Sun Counseling. Got questions or topics you'd love to hear us cover? Email us at info@aurorasuncounseling.com or drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you.